प्रमाणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आयर्याणं नमो वज्रायाणं नमो लोहे सवसाहूणम् एषो पञ्चनमोकारो सौवपावपणासनो मङ्गलाणं च सौवेसिं वडमं हवै मङ्गलम्. Jai Jinendra, Pranam and Jai Jinendra to all. Hope everyone is doing well and is safe and is in good health. Last time after the event, we received many calls and appreciating, the yoga and the meditation sessions that we had. So we need to thank Dr. Pranav Bhai and Parul Ben for doing a fantastic job. Thank you, Pranav Bhai, Parul Ben. We apologize, for the little glitch that we had in the beginning last time. It has been taken care of, and we thank the technical team that we have, Sapan Doshi and Dhiman Vora. Our sincere gratitude to the sponsor of this event, Sarvamangal Family Trust, Shri Manubhai and Rika Ben Shah. And I think with no further delay, let's start the question and answer session. So, Dr. Nitin Bhai, you're on.
Your audio is off.
Your audio is off.
Sorry. Thank you, Mazbhai. For some reason, either people have all the answers or they are shying away. We haven't received any specific question. So what we will continue to do is Pranav Bhai will pick a topic and keep educating us while we all gather. And then at 6:15, we will start with yoga and then end with meditation. In between, Sapan, if you get any questions, please pass it on to me. And we will be, both Pranav Bhai as well as myself, be happy to answer them. And in the meantime, let's hear what Pranav Bhai is going to advise us today. Pranav Bhai, you're on. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Jai Jinendra. And so since we didn't receive any questions, we thought we will just continue talking about how to deal with the current stressful time and what kinds of things can help you to stay healthy and thriving during this time. So we talked last time, and I can share my screen. So let's see, share screen.
Pranav Bhai, volume is little less if you can.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Little better.
Okay.
How's that?
Little better, can be a little bit more better.
Okay. All right. How about now? Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
No, not yet. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So apparently I cannot share my screen, but anyway, we'll just talk about it. So we talked about how if we are putting together a jigsaw puzzle, what you want to start with are the four corners, because those are the most essential pieces to find first. And similarly, if we are going to stay healthy, we have to take care of the four corners of health, or the four pillars of health. And those four pillars we started talking about last time are sleep, food, activity or kind of exercise, and social connection. So those are the, and we're going to start talking about sleep today. So and food. So sleep has been one of the most undervalued and underrated pillar of health. For the longest time, I used to say sleep is overvalued. I don't need as much sleep, until I started learning about how important sleep is. And partly it's because science has not really, for the until recently, we did not really know why we need to sleep.
I think also we used to be like proud of ourselves if we needed less sleep and we can get more done. And
Mhm.
we thought that's a good thing. And only now are we realizing that our body is actually recovering and healing. And, Pranav will talk about more while we sleep and how critical that time is for us.
So yeah, as Parul said, sleep um, promotes health in multiple different ways. One of the basic functions of sleep, as we are now understanding, is to heal our body and give it rest, including our brain, our gut, our heart, our liver, all of those organs within ourselves, they heal during sleep. They also, sleep is the time when the body gets rid of all the toxins that have accumulated throughout the day. And so it improves our immune system, our gut health, our brain health, um, and all sorts of things. So sleep is really essential. And what we know is that on an average, we need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
And of course, everyone's different. And some days you may not get that. But it really, I mean, even just skipping that one day, it's not like you can make up for it another day. It's not how it really works.
Yeah,
Right?
common
Right, we
misconception
think
is
that, yeah.
a common misconception is that if I just get 5 hours of sleep during weekdays, I can make up for it on weekends. Well, that our body doesn't work that way, and we cannot really make up for lost sleep. Um, so, so 7 to 8 hours of sleep for most people. Now, there is some indication that if you do meditation regularly, that can substitute for some of the sleep. So maybe if you're doing half an hour of meditation, maybe you can sleep one less hour. But overall, for on an average, we need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
I think the meditation is because it really does slow down the body and it really helps the body get more oxygen. And that's a lot of what's happening while we're sleeping. So it's like you're in a sleep state, even though your mind is awake during meditation. And so there's so many benefits to meditation as we've talked about, and we will continue to talk about, but that's just really one of them too.
So having said that, it's also very natural that when we are under stress, like right now, with what's going on in this country and the world over, it is very natural for us to lose some sleep and to have difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, waking up too early. All those things are very natural. And what we're going to give you are some tips on how to improve your sleep, because that's really critical at this time. So, one of the things you want to do to improve your sleep is you expose yourself to bright light during daytime, so that it lets your body know that it's daytime. And then after sundown, you begin to decrease your exposure to light. So you dim all the lights in the house as much as possible. You avoid watching too much television or being on your phone or iPad after sundown. um, those things kind of send the signal to our body that we are ready to go to sleep.
So unlike what a lot of us do, we're laying in bed at night and we're like, instead of getting a book to read, we're actually taking our phones out and we're answering WhatsApp messages and we're looking at videos or we're watching the news before going to bed, which has so much stuff on it that really stays within us and within our minds. So it is really important, and it's kind of a hard habit to stop, to start slowing that down. Maybe read a book, do a meditation instead of doing
Or listen to music, or do some prayers or something to calm your mind down, send the signal to the brain that it's time to sleep. And that releases melatonin in our brain and our body, which actually is what prepares our body for sleep. So really important to, especially the last 1 or 2 hours before bedtime, to unplug from devices and do something that's calms the mind down. Caffeine is another thing. So we think that, okay, chai time at 4 p.m. Um, well, caffeine stays in our body, now we know, for we get rid of about half of the caffeine in about 6 to 7 hours. The other half is still there. So if you have tea at 4 p.m., when you are ready to go to sleep, about half of that cup of tea is still in your body. Now, you may still be able to sleep because you're used to that, but what it does is it does not allow your body to have deep sleep. So it reduces your deep sleep, which is the most restorative part of sleep, by about 15-20% if you have caffeine running through your blood. So it's really important to kind of limit your caffeine after about noon time, so that all that caffeine, most of the caffeine has left your body by the time you're ready to sleep.
What you can have is warm milk, because warm milk actually, you can tell me better what it has in it, but it actually has some chemicals in it that help you rest. So it's not a myth of drink a cup of warm milk before going to bed. So that helps you. You can do the masala that we drink without the cha, and it'll also feel good. You have something in the late afternoon, but also can help you rest later in the night. So that's another alternative to drinking tea in the afternoon.
Alcohol is another substance that really disturbs our sleep. Now, most people think that alcohol makes them sleepy, so it helps them to sleep. The truth is that when you drink alcohol before bedtime, it actually gives you very light and restless sleep. And most people then will find that about 4 hours after they go to bed, they'll wake up. And so it does disturb your sleep. So limit your alcohol, caffeine, really important things to do if you're having trouble sleeping.
I mean, basically it's sugar. And I think with sugar, you get like this high and then you feel tired, but then your body kind of re-regulates itself and it's kind of jittery again. So even having a lot of sweets before bed can do something very similar.
It's also important to kind of keep your bedroom where you sleep kind of on the cooler side. Maybe around 68 degrees or 70 degrees. Our body needs to cool down by about 1 degree to have restful sleep. If you keep your bedroom very warm, that's not going to be conducive to good sleep. So make sure you keep the temperature down. And one last tip is doing some meditation before going to bed really will help you calm your mind down, and it promotes really good deep sleep. So and especially there are meditations called yoga nidra. Those are really good to help you sleep. So if you're having trouble falling asleep, listen to yoga nidra meditations.
And we do this quite often at night, and we just leave it on and kind of fall asleep to the yoga nidras. And it really helps the entire body, like section to section, slow down and relax. And if you guys have any questions, we can send you some sites that you can get some really good yoga nidras on that are free and they don't cost anything. But definitely the deep breathing and just following your breath and staying in the moment kind of keeps our minds away from everything else that is in it. And it helps us just kind of relax and just focus on breath, and it even helps you bring deeper breath into the body so you can get more oxygen and heal better while you're sleeping.
Okay, let's talk about healthy eating.
So I thought we should, but since it's 6:15 and he wanted us to go ahead and start yoga, what do you think we should do?
Maybe we just talk for 3 or 4 minutes and then we'll continue it next time.
Okay. So again, with healthy eating, I think, it's really true. What we put into our bodies truly influences how we feel. It supports our immune system. It kind of regulates our moods. You will notice when you eat a lot of sugar that you won't feel as good later.
Maybe we just talk
Next
for
time.
3 or 4 minutes and then we'll continue it next time.
Yeah. Okay. So again, with healthy eating, I think, it's really true how we feel.
Wait, what is that playing?
It was sound coming back from someone who had the YouTube also running.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So please mute yourself if you have not.
So again, I'm just going to say that right now because, we do want to continue. But again, really being mindful about what you put into your mouth, what you put into your body. Everything you put in is going to heal you, is going to make you feel better, is going to help with certain issues that we have. So next week, we'll talk a little bit more about food and healthy eating. And today we'll just kind of talk about the fact that just be very, very mindful. Slow down how you eat. Taste your food that you're eating. Take your time with it. Don't just gobble up food and watch TV while you eat. And so again, we'll talk more about it next week. We did have a question last week about doing pranayam before or after the yoga practice. And should it be right before meditation? And yes, it should be right before meditation. But because I'm taking you into Shavasana, I'm doing it a little bit differently. And honestly and truly, in the end of the day, it's just important to do it. And it doesn't matter ultimately when you do it. So as we did last week, I'll have a similar practice. I want people to start to get used to the moves that we're doing. And we'll start with the Anulom Vilom, the alternate nostril breathing. Yeah. And so again, some of the amazing benefits is it really calms us, it centers and balances the mind. It helps to harmonize the two hemispheres of the brain, like the logical, the emotional, the practical, and the creative sides of our personalities. It also brings a balance to our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, and how we kind of improves our lives, but it also helps improve others because it's how we treat them if we're more calm. And finally, it just strengthens the lungs and it improves the blood circulation, all of the organs, because the more oxygen you get, the more the organs work better, calms the nervous system, and it's just a great grounding practice. So let's go ahead and get started with this. And if you want, again, we can send you a copy of the benefits of the Anuloma Viloma, so you just have it to read to yourself or to look at. Again, we're going to take our first two fingers. Our other hand is in Jnana Mudra, and our first two fingers are going to come down. So we're using our thumb and pinky fingers for this. Right? So just bring your thumb next to the nostril, and don't touch it yet. And then take a deep breath in the nose and fill the belly. Take your time. Go ahead and plug the right nostril and exhale out of the left nostril. We're going to stay there. Inhale through the left nostril. Plug your left nostril, hold for a moment, and exhale out of the right. Inhale through the right, deep and long. Plug them both, hold, and exhale to the left. Inhale through the left. Hold it both closed to exhale to the right. Inhale to the right. Plug the nose and exhale to the left. Two more. Inhale to the left. Hold, exhale to the right. And the last one, inhale to the right. And hold and exhale to the left. Keeping your eyes closed, bring both hands on your lap. And just take a moment and just notice how you feel. Try not to really call it anything, just notice. Is it, how you're feeling, how your body is, how your breath is. Beautiful. And then we're going to gently blink open our eyes and bring our hands back to center, and we'll go into our yoga practice. So just give us one moment to set up. I'm going to bring the chair into the center, and we'll go from there. Again, we'll do about a 15 to 20 minute practice. Similar to last week, a lot of stretching And I'll probably introduce a few new poses and we'll see how that works. So here we go. Just put that on the chair. It's fine. We set up the chair for fun. Chair, or can be done on the ground. And we're going to go ahead today again and start seated. So Pranav will be on the chair for us. In no way is he's totally capable of doing what I'm doing, but to help us out today, he's going to be on the chair. So I thank him deeply for doing this with me. And we're just going to close our eyes, drop the shoulders. And remember, again, really want to be very mindful about this rounding of the spine. You want to press the shoulder blades back. You want to lift the ribs, straighten out the spine. Anytime we sit, this is how we want to sit. If you're sitting on a chair, see if you can get your feet to be on the ground.
Also, see if you can avoid resting on the back of the chair. Instead, keep your back straight and upright and tall without resting on the back of the chair.
And this will be true for your meditation as well, whether you're on the ground or if you're sitting on a chair. So we're just going to take a couple of cleansing breaths. And this is a great way to get rid of old thoughts, to get rid of stale air in the body. So let's go ahead and start. Take a deep breath in the nose and let it go out of the mouth. And inhale through the nose. And just let go of that noise in the mind, the thoughts that were going on, and just try and become very present. One more. And let it go. As you open your eyes, you're going to inhale, lift the arms straight up. And I'm just going to adjust Pranav's chair for a moment because I won't be able to move around much. So here we go. Yeah. And we're going to exhale into cactus and drop the elbows down. Bring your palms to face the sky and then bring your chest up. So you have a little back bend here to stretch and open the heart. And then inhale, lengthen straight back up. Bring the left hand behind and the right hand on the elbow. And then gently bring that right elbow to the right side and gaze up. If it's too much, you can just keep the right hand down and lift up. You can even bring the left hand up, right? Lots of choices here. Just make sure you don't shrug with this shoulder. You want to unshrug. Bring that left hand forward, reach over that right knee with both hands. Keep both hips on the ground if you're seated or if you're here. If you're here, you can keep the right hand on the knee and the left hand can reach over the other way. Right hand on the ground and left hand, sorry, on the knee, and left hand reaches over there. There you go, sorry. And reach all the way back up, inhale. And the other side, so right hand to the back, left hand on elbow. Remember, we're stretching out the triceps, you're stretching out your right side body, and you're actually making some space in your right lung to breathe in deeper. Again, your choice to reach a little more if you feel good. And then the right hand is going to reach over. So you have that on the chair. Left hand can stay on your leg if you're on the chair. Otherwise, reach both hands over the left knee. Good. And then walk it back to center. And inhale, lift. And release. We'll do some stretching in the shoulders and in the palms as we stand later. And then just bring your legs together, going into a little bit of that ab work we did last week. Remember, if you're on the chair, you'll hold on to your chair. If you're here, you're going to lift the legs up. So you might just stay like that, elbow squeeze in, and maybe inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, lengthen. Look at the options you have. You can stay like this. You can stay on the ground and just stay with your legs in and out, getting ab and core work. Or if you feel like you want even more, bring all the way up, touch the feet, and inhale, lengthen straight up. Exhale, bring it up and touch the feet. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, squeeze it in. And last one, inhale, lengthen. And then finally hold it here and just drop your shoulders and just stay for a moment, squeezing the abs. And you can release the arms if that feels good. You can lengthen the legs if it feels good. And come on to all fours. So on all fours, we're going to do cat and cow. So if you're on the chair, you'll move your chest open and close as you're here for the rest of us on the ground. Eye of the elbow facing forward, shoulders and wrists in one line, hip and knee in one line. And then you let the belly drop, open the collarbones and press the heart forward as you inhale. Press into the ground, exhale, round it up. Beautiful. And inhale, lift. And exhale, round. And then come back to neutral. You're going to continue like that if you're on the chair. And if you want more, you're going to turn the toes under. I'm going to give you a little challenge for those who want more. And you'll just lift the knees off the ground. So you can also bring your feet forward. And
just lift yourself.
you can lift your hips, or you can sit down and lift the feet off the ground and hold it there. So you're using the core. So you lift the knees, hold it there, and we pulse it down for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Hold it up, you see, and bring that right knee to the elbow, or just lift the right knee a little higher, perfect, and bring it back. And left knee, bring it a little higher, good, and bring it back, and release. Come onto your knees for a moment and just bring your hands together and interlace the fingers and work into those wrist joints. And release. So we're going to go into our push-ups. We're going to start talking about Surya Namaskar in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to go into some of those poses. And I'm going to go back a little because I don't want to bump into the chair. And here we go. Hands come slightly forward and your hips are coming down. So you have a straight line from your knees to your head. And we'll just do a couple little push-ups here, or just hold it here with a straight, strong spine. And if you're on the chair, you can just kind of do some push-ups like this, pressing in and out. If you're here with me, you'll press up and down. So it's 4 and 3. You can lift the feet, and 2 and 1. Come back up. We're going to go into Chaturanga, which is really a pose we do in Surya Namaskar. You can stay on your knees. You're going to bring all the way down. You're going to bring your forehead, your chin, and your chest to the ground. Your hips are still up. And then you'll slide forward and drop the toes down. And we'll do Cobra or Bhujangasana. So you'll slide the hands up their thighs. And we're going to press the chest forward. Squeeze the elbows in. Press the toenails down. Take a deep breath. Beautiful. And release. And then you're going to take your hands behind the head. We're going to strengthen the upper back, going into Salambhasana or locust pose. So hands come behind the head. And if you're on, you're going to bend forward. If you're on the chair, perfect. And lift the elbows high. Squeeze the belly in and lift the legs into Salambhasana. And squeeze up. You're stretching into the upper back, strengthening it. You're strengthening the entire body. You're strengthening your glutes. Take a deep breath. One more. Exhale slowly out of the nose. And release. Bring your hands next to your low ribs and press your body back up. And exhale just for a moment into child pose and let it go. So you can just relax here. And just notice your breath right now and see how it's feeling. Reconnect with it. And then we'll go into our downward dog to come all the way back up. And so for downward dog, if you're on a chair, your legs will come straight out. If you're with me, you'll turn the toes under and keep the heels on the ground. And so you can come up forward, yeah. And then lengthen that, perfect. And then you're gonna press the palms forward. And I'm gonna come up into downward dog. So you're making an inverted V. Your arms are long, your belly button is pressing towards your thighs. The neck is long. And if you're on a chair, you're pressing the palms, getting a stretch in the back of the legs. Take another deep breath. You're going to gaze forward and then walk the feet in towards the hands. So your feet can come back underneath you and you're going to just lean into the legs. So just take a moment here. Notice how my body is resting on my thighs. My arms are opposite hand, opposite elbow, and I'm lifting my hips up to stretch the back of the legs. One more deep breath. Press the feet down, release the arms, and come halfway up into Utkatasana or chair pose. Press the hips back and down. You can also keep the hands here. And now if you're in chair and you're here, yep, you can lift your body up. You can go ahead and sit down with that, but lift the heart and chest up a little bit. So arms next to the ears, and then lift your hips up off the ground. There it is. So you can do a chair pose there. You can do a chair pose seated. Deep breath. Let's go into those stretches for the legs. So bring your hands behind the head again and bring the right leg forward. If you're sitting on a chair, you can go back to seated. And you're going to lean forward. You'll feel that stretch in that hamstring. So the chest is coming forward, chin is coming forward, really stretch. Lift the elbows high. Take a deep breath. And then as you inhale, lift that right leg straight up with you. So if you're seated, you'll just straight up. Perfect. See the stretch. And the arms come out. And then rotate the wrists and feet at the same time. If it's a little too much, you hold on to a chair and do it. That's totally fine. Or you can do it seated and go the other way. 3 and 2 and 1. And let's go into our tree pose as we did last week. So this right knee will lift up. You'll turn the right leg out. And again, use the chair whenever you need.
So if you're seated, you can stand beside the chair and hold the chair for support.
Another option possibly is if you're feeling better, you can just kind of stay like this if that feels okay. So there's a couple of options if you're using a chair. Otherwise, the right foot will go into your calf or into the inner thigh, right? And bring your hands together. Press the palms a lot, squeeze them together. Squeeze the feet into the inner thigh and press it together here as well. And then just notice the energy reaching through the body all the way up, and maybe you keep your hands to hips. Maybe you reach all the way to the sky. Take a deep breath. I'm going to give some of you a challenge if you'd like. So you're going to stay like this, or you're going to exhale and lean towards that straight leg. Deep breath. Awesome. And come back to center. Reach the hands forward. Press the shoulders back. And we'll do a little twist here. Just twist it to the left. Remember, you can just stay where you are. You can be on your chair. Twist, twist, twist. Keep those hips facing forward. Keep the knee open. And then inhale, release. And then take that right leg out and come on down. And shake this left leg out a bit because standing on it, you're really working your calves and your ankles. And we'll do the other side. So here we go. Starting here, we'll go back to your chair pose. And hands behind the head. And exhale the left leg straight. So getting into that hamstring stretch. Remember, and you can also do that when you're seated if that felt better, right? You can do it here. Or you can do it standing, holding the chair. And then lift those elbows high, bring the chin towards the toes, feeling a deep stretch all the way in the back of the leg, but in the upper back as well. And then pressing into the right foot, lift up. There you go. Hands come out. And again, you can just do one arm at a time or both and rotate the ankles one way and the other. And then bring that left knee up and open it out. Your choice, the foot can go on the ground, on the calf, but just don't put it on your knee joint because this is a joint and you want to protect it, or all the way up. You might notice this right hip might want to stick out a little bit, but you're going to squeeze it back in. And hands to heart. Press the palms deeply together. Relax the shoulders. And if you're ready to continue, reach the arms straight up. Take a moment of stillness. Just focus. If you're going to lean over to the right side, you can do that to the right. Squeeze this right hip in. And come back to center. And lengthen the arms straight forward. You're going to press the shoulders back into a socket. So you won't be like this, but you'll be pushing it back, right? And then you can twist to the right. So here we go. As you twist, the hips stay forward. My left knee stays open. Nothing is twisting on the bottom of the body. It's the upper back. We're trying to stretch the upper back, strengthen the upper back, and protect our low back. Take a breath. Beautiful, you guys. And come back, inhale, and release that left leg all the way down. And we're going to shake that out. And then we're going to simply come back to the ground just to end up with some little stretches for the legs before, and some twists before we go into our meditation. So just go ahead and inhale and exhale, forward bend, maybe coming back into a little ball squat. So this is where You're going to lift the heels, bring the forehead to the knees, and you're basically rounding up the entire spine and stretching from your tailbone to the crown of your head. You can even try and do a little balancing here. Deep breath. Awesome. And go ahead and set it down. So let's go ahead and bring our feet together, and we'll stretch the inner thighs first. And you'll just press the legs open, stretch the chest open, drop the shoulders, inhale. And then gently exhale, forward
I don't know
bend.
if I can do this.
Oh, what they call butterfly. But notice again, we don't want to round up here. You want to press the hips back and then press your chest forward. So your spine is straight, chin is going over the toes. Deep breath. And then you're going to slowly lift it back up. Then going into a twist. So if you're on the chair, you can drop one of the legs down. Otherwise, that left knee will be facing forward. My right leg will go over. Perfect. So you can even just leave both legs down and twist from there. Yeah. Left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. And then notice I'm going to squeeze the inner thigh into my body, lengthen the spine, and then relax the shoulders. There you go. And then twist it to the right. And you're wringing out the belly button, wring out the ribs, wring out the shoulders, and then finally the neck, as if you're squeezing a towel from the middle all the way to the outer edges. You're massaging your organs, you're helping digestion, you're helping with diabetes. Just an amazing way to take care of the body is just even through a twist here. Yeah. And release. Awesome. And we'll just switch the legs. So my right leg, right knee comes down. Left leg will go over. And notice again, my hip comes down to the ground. You want to be even. Squeeze the inner thigh into the rib. Lengthen the spine. Again, relax your shoulders. We have a tendency of using our shoulders and clenching them up, but you want to bring them down and then exhale, twist to the belly and the ribs and the chest and shoulders and finally neck. We're also getting a stretch into this left glute and hip. And release it back to the center and bring both legs out. Awesome. We're just going to gently roll down towards the ground. And if you're staying seated for meditation, you can stay where you are. We'll do a little twist laying down and then go right into Shavasana. So round up the back to come all the way down. Use the belly. You can also straighten out here for you. I mean, you're straightened all the way up. Yeah, you can come straight up. And then bring both legs up to the sky. And if you're here, you could just hold them straight out. And this is great. It's great for digestion with your legs up the wall, great for your nervous system, great for circulatory system. So if you have some time during the day, just lay like this or keep the legs against the wall and lay like this. And then you're going to bend the knees. Take your arms out in a big T and then let your legs roll over to the right side. And you're going to gently, let's see, I think just relax the legs for this one, and then just come seated, and then just twist, like a regular twist, yeah. Because you want to be relaxed in this pose. It's really not working any muscles, but it's actually letting them go and relax them, right? So just kind of relax and take a breath and feel the belly. Let's start to connect with our breath to get ready for meditation. I'm going to come back to center. And make sure the body is lined up to turn the other way and gaze to the left. Take a moment here. Relax the abs, relax the glutes, relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath and fill the belly, feel the belly lift upwards as you breathe in and then condense back down as you breathe out. And then gently come back to center. If you're going to stay like this for meditation, you can stay with your knees bent. You can stay with your legs out. And if you're seated, you know that you want to sit upright. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. And let's just start with one deep breath in the nose and let it go. And we have a beautiful meditation today, really relevant to what's happening in our world right now, in our country, in our hearts. So please stay and we'll continue from here.
So for this meditation, I'm going to shut off my video and we're just going to put a screen up so that I'm not distracting you. Um, See if you can get in a comfortable position. You can stay laying down or you can stand up, whatever you prefer,
Or seated.
or seated. Maybe take a few deep breaths in to connect with your breath, letting out your exhalation with a deep sigh. I know that I have been struggling with the recent events in our country, and I'm sure that a lot of you are feeling the same way right now. There is so much going on. As if COVID wasn't enough, we have seen some blatant, overt examples of racism and violence in this country. And it brings up a deep longing to help and protect, and an equally profound longing for peace. We may also be struggling with our feelings of guilt, shame, confusion, anger. We may not be sure about how to respond to all of this. And I think this is a good time to remind ourselves of the principles of Jainism, things that Gandhiji taught us, and what Martin Luther King Jr. said, that darkness does not get rid of darkness. Light gets rid of darkness. In the same way, hatred is not the answer to hatred. Love is the answer to hatred. So we have to counteract this hatred and racism, discrimination. We have to learn to deal with all of these feelings and counteract them by creating a space that's filled with compassion, love, and courage. Because if we don't deal with these feelings of rage, anger, all of that, we are likely to just compound the problem. So to do this, let's do a practice of loving kindness, especially keeping in mind the victims of hatred and violence all over the world. And set our intention for this meditation to create that space within our hearts that's filled with compassion and love. So let's start with ourselves. So say these words to yourself. May I be safe and protected. May I feel embraced by the village around me. May I feel at home in the country that I'm living in. May I be at peace. Now, bring to mind somebody you know who has been a victim of violence or hatred or discrimination. And keeping that person in mind, repeat these words to yourself. May you be safe and protected. May you feel embraced by the village around you. May you feel at home living in your country. May you find peace and justice. Now, bring to mind all the victims of racism, violence, discrimination, hatred around the world. And with a heart filled with compassion and love, forgiveness, repeat these words to yourself. May all of you feel safe and protected. May all of you feel embraced by the village around you. May all of you feel at home in the country that you're calling home. And may you find peace and justice in your life. Let's sit together in silence and solidarity with all these victims of violence for a minute. When you're ready, slowly bring yourself back to the room. And gently open your eyes. Thank you all for joining us today. Namaste. The spirit within us bows down to the spirit within you. And we hope to see you next week, same time, same day. Thank you again. Jai
Thank you.
Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.